The stars were quiet. Commander Ryan Blake sat alone inside his small spaceship. His mission was simple: travel through Sector 7, scan for life, and return to Earth. But something went wrong. A strange signal pulled his ship off course. Before he could react, the ship shook violently. "Warning! Engine failure!" the ship's AI screamed. Ryan grabbed the controls. The ship spun wildly. A bright light flashed outside the window, blinding him for a second. Then everything went dark. When he opened his eyes, he was lying inside an escape pod. Alarms were still ringing. The control screen showed a planet below, green, blue, glowing. The pod was falling fast. He was going to crash. "Brace for impact," the computer said. The pod slammed into the ground. Trees snapped, metal bent, sparks flew. Then silence. Ryan groaned and sat up. His head hurt. Blood ran down his cheek. But he was alive. He looked around. The pod was half buried in soft, glowing plants. The forest around him looked strange. The trees were tall and blue. The sky above was purple, and there were 2 moons. "Isn't Earth," he said softly. His radio was dead. The main ship was gone. He was truly alone. Ryan grabbed his emergency pack and stepped outside. The air felt cool and fresh. Birds, or something like birds, chirped high above. He took a few careful steps into the glowing forest. Every plant seemed alive. Leaves moved slightly as if they were breathing. Flowers turned to follow him. The place was beautiful, but also strange. Suddenly he heard a sound, a soft whisper, like footsteps on wet leaves. He stopped and looked around. Nothing. Then he saw a small, glowing object lying near a tree. It looked like a silver stone, but it was humming quietly. Ryan walked closer. He knelt down and touched it. The humming grew louder. His fingers tingled. Symbols lit up on the stone's surface, symbols he didn't understand. Then a voice. "That does not belong to you, outsider." Ryan spun around. A tall figure stepped out from behind the trees. She wore silver armor that shimmered in the strange light. Her eyes glowed softly. A long, sharp blade hung at her side. Ryan took a step back. "I don't want trouble. I crashed here." "My ship." "Silence," she said. She removed her helmet. Ryan froze. She was beautiful, not human. Her skin was a soft violet, her hair silver like moonlight, and her eyes bright gold. "You are on sacred ground," she said. "This forest belongs to the royal family. You are trespassing." "I didn't mean to." "My ship fell from the sky like a cursed stone," she interrupted. "You should not be here." Ryan raised his hands slowly. "Please, I'm just trying to survive." The woman looked at him carefully, as if judging his every word. Then she looked at the glowing device on the ground. "You touched the memory stone," she said. "That is forbidden. I didn't know." "I'm sorry," Ryan said. She walked toward him. Her golden eyes never blinked. She stopped just inches from him. "You are lucky the forest did not eat you," she said. Ryan blinked. "The what?" She ignored the question. "Now you belong to me," she said calmly. "By law, any outsider who enters royal ground becomes my responsibility." "Wait, what do you mean?" Ryan asked. She touched the stone again. It pulsed with light. Ryan suddenly felt dizzy. The forest spun around him. His legs gave out. As he fell to the ground, he heard her voice again, softer this time. "Let's see what the stars have sent me this time." Everything went black. Ryan Blake woke up on something soft. It wasn't the ground anymore. It felt like fabric, warm and smooth. He opened his eyes slowly. The room was dim, lit by floating blue lights. Strange patterns moved on the walls. The ceiling curved above like the inside of a giant shell. The air smelled sweet like flowers after rain. He sat up. Pain shot through his side. "You should not move," a voice said. He turned. She was there, the alien girl, the one in silver armor. But now she wore a flowing robe, deep purple like the sky outside. Ryan froze. "Where am I?" "In my chambers," she said simply. "You were unconscious for a full rotation." He guessed that meant a day. She walked toward him, hands behind. Her back, her long silver hair shimmered in the light. You crashed into the royal zone, she said. My soldiers would have killed you. I brought you here instead. Why? Ryan asked. I don't know yet. There was silence. Ryan looked around. The room was large but empty. No furniture except for the soft bed he was on. The walls had symbols he couldn't read. Do you have a name? He asked carefully. She looked at him for a long moment. Then she said, Liara. Liara, he repeated. I'm Ryan Blake, Commander. Or I was before everything exploded. You are not in your world anymore, Ryan, she said. You are in the capital of Karel, and right now, you are under royal protection. He raised an eyebrow. So, I'm a guest? She tilted her head. More like a captured animal. Ryan chuckled, but she didn't. I don't bite, he said. Liara stepped closer. You touched the memory stone. That's not something you should laugh about. Ryan's smile faded. That stone, what was it? She didn't answer. Instead, she sat across from him, watching him with curious eyes. The memory stone is ancient, she said. It holds the thoughts and voices of our ancestors. Only royals can use it. But it reacted to you? I didn't mean to. No, she interrupted. That's what makes it stranger. He leaned forward. What did it show? Liara hesitated. It showed a war, fire raining from the sky. Cities turning to glass. A man standing alone. Wearing your face, Ryan blinked. Me? She nodded. Or someone like you. It could be a warning, or a memory from another time. He shook his head. I don't know anything about that. I just want to fix my comms, call Earth, and get home. Liara stood up. There is no signal here, not for your kind. She walked to a curved wall. With a soft touch, it became transparent. Ryan gasped. Outside, towers floated in the sky. Bridges made of glowing energy connected them. Creatures with wings soared between buildings. The city shimmered like it was made of light and music. This is beautiful, he said. Liara didn't turn. And dangerous. You are the first human to step here. Some would call you a spy. Others an omen. Ryan frowned. What do you think I am? She finally turned to him. Her eyes weren't angry anymore. Just thoughtful. I don't know. But the stars don't send strangers without reason. Suddenly a knock on the wall. A voice spoke in Lyra's language. Soft, fast. Liara nodded and looked at Ryan. My father wants to see you. Your father? Ryan asked. She gave a small smile. The king. Scene shift. Royal Hall. The hall was massive. Pillars of light stretched into the sky. A long bridge floated over a pool of black water. At the end stood a throne, made from crystal, glowing with power. And on it sat a tall man, armor sharp like blades, eyes cold as ice. Liara stood beside Ryan, calm. He, however, was sweating. The king spoke. His voice was deep, heavy with command. Liara translated. He asks, Why are you here, Skyman? Ryan cleared his throat. I crashed. I didn't come on purpose. The king stared, then he spoke again. He says, Liara translated, that your kind once touched this galaxy. Long ago and left scars. Ryan stepped forward. That wasn't me, the king replied. Liara looked surprised. He says the stars showed him a dream, your face, and fire. Ryan's chest tightened. I don't understand. The king rose from his throne. He gives you one day, Liara whispered. To prove you are not the one from the dream, Ryan swallowed. And if I fail? She didn't answer, but the king's soldiers raised their weapons. The floating bridge vanished behind them as Liara led Ryan. Through a maze of glowing corridors, neither of them spoke. Ryan's mind was spinning. A test? Prove he's not the one from the dream? What did that even mean? He wasn't a warrior. He wasn't a spy. He was just a man who fell from the sky. Finally, Liara broke the silence. You should be afraid, she said. Most who face the king's test don't survive. Ryan tried to keep his voice steady. Then maybe I'm not most people. She looked at him, her golden eyes unreadable. You joke too much for someone with a death sentence. I prefer that over crying, Ryan replied. Liara gave the faintest smile, then stopped in front of a large archway. It opened on its own, revealing a chamber filled with tall columns of light. Inside stood a group of hooded figures, their faces hidden. "This is the chamber of the Watchers," she said. "They will guide the test. I am not allowed to enter." "Wait. You're leaving me?" Ryan asked. She hesitated. "I shouldn't be here with you. I've already broken too many rules." Her voice softened. "But I'll be waiting when it's over, if you make it." Before he could respond, the doors closed behind him. Inside the chamber, the room was silent. Too silent. Ryan felt the air grow thick, like he was underwater. One of the figures raised a hand. A circle of light formed under Ryan's feet. Symbols spun around him. "Ryan Blake," a deep voice said. "We search your memory. Your soul." Ryan's heartbeat quickened. The floor vanished. He was falling. Memory. Simulation begins. He landed in sand. Hot wind burned his face. Dust swirled. He was suddenly back, not in Carel, but on Mars years ago, a failed mission. A rescue. Gone wrong. He saw himself, younger, angry, shouting at a teammate. The scene played like a movie. Then the explosion. A man screaming. Ryan staggered backward. No, that wasn't my fault. But the voice echoed, "You carry guilt, heavy." Hidden. More scenes flashed. War zones, space battles, silent deaths. Things he had seen, orders he had given, pain he had buried. He dropped to his knees. "I'm not a monster." Then, a new image, heir standing at the memory stone, staring at him. But this time, she looked afraid of him. The voice returned. "Will you destroy or protect?" "I don't know," Ryan whispered. "I just want to go home." Back in the chamber, Ryan woke up lying flat on the glowing floor. Sweat poured down his face. The Watchers were silent. Then one spoke. "The stars show many paths. Yours is still open." Another added, "The dream of fire is not yet truth." The third said, "But your soul is touched by shadow." Then all together, "You are allowed to live ... for now." The chamber darkened. The doors opened. Liara stood there, waiting. Outside, Ryan stumbled out. Liara quickly caught his arm. "You passed," she said softly. "Barely," he muttered. "What did they see?" She shook her head. "The Watchers never say everything. Only what they must." They walked slowly through the corridors. Ryan's legs still felt weak. His heart even weaker. "Liara," he said. "What is this dream your people fear?" She paused. "Long ago our ancestors saw a vision in the memory stone. A man who falls from the sky, brings fire, and breaks the stars. He leads a war that burns our world. And you think that's me?" "I don't know," she said. "But the stone reacted to you, and the king. He believes the dream is close." Ryan rubbed his eyes. "I'm not a destroyer. I fix things, machines, problems. I help people." She looked at him with something new in her eyes. Doubt mixed with hope. "You don't look like a monster," she said. He smiled. "Thanks. You don't look like a princess who kidnaps strangers." She laughed. A soft, musical sound. That was the first time Ryan realized how beautiful it truly was. Later that night, Ryan stood on the balcony of his new chamber. The twin moons hung above. The city glowed quietly below, floating in the clouds. Footsteps approached. "You can't sleep?" Liara asked. "Too much in my head," he replied. She stood beside him. "You saved me," he said. "Why?" She looked at the stars. "Because when you touched the stone, I saw something too." "What did you see?" She looked at him. "You, but not as a destroyer, as someone standing between two worlds, holding them together." Ryan said nothing for a moment, then softly, "Maybe that's why I'm here," Liara nodded. "Or maybe the stars are just playing games." A moment passed between them, then she said, "Rest, Ryan Blake. Tomorrow your real test begins." Ryan turned to her. "What does that mean?" She gave him a mysterious smile. "You'll see." The morning sky of Carel was painted in soft pinks and deep violets. Two suns slowly rose from opposite ends of the horizon. For most, it was a symbol of peace. For Ryan Blake, it meant another day of survival. He stood quietly outside the palace, flanked by two guards with armor that shimmered like flowing water. Liara was speaking to them in her native tongue, her voice sharp and clear. When she turned to Ryan, her face was calm, but her eyes held warning. "They've agreed to take us outside the city walls," she said. "But only for a short time," Ryan raised a brow. "What's out there that's worth the risk?" She glanced beyond the shimmering city barrier. "Answers. Maybe even your way home." The guards activated a small portal gate and a circular rift opened in the air with a soft Ryan stepped through. Beyond the barrier, the world outside the capital was nothing like the glowing towers behind him. The trees here were tall, their trunks made of crystal-like glass, and their leaves flickered like they were alive. The light from the twin suns reflected in every surface, casting dancing patterns on the ground. Ryan walked beside Liara in silence. The guards stayed a few steps behind, always watching. "This place is unreal," Ryan said. Liara nodded. "It's called the glass forest. Long ago it was alive like the royal garden. But after the last pulse it froze this way. It's dangerous now." "Dangerous how?" She didn't answer right away. Instead she pointed to a large structure in the distance, half buried in roots and vines, shaped like a broken spear fallen from the sky. Ryan squinted. "Is that a ship?" Liara nodded. "One of yours." "Human." Ryan felt a jolt in his chest. "What? How?" "No one knows," she replied. "It crashed generations ago. The records were hidden. The king didn't want others to ask questions." As they approached, Ryan noticed strange marks on the hull, Earth symbols, military codes. "Old ones. This isn't from my time," he whispered. "This is ancient." Liara stepped beside him. "We believe this ship brought the first outsider, the one from the dream." Ryan ran his fingers across the metal. It was rusted, covered in vines, but still strong. He looked at her. "Why show me this?" "Because," she said, "if you are here to fix what was broken, you need to know what came before." They entered the ship through a torn side panel. Inside, the air was thick and musty. Dust floated like ghosts. Ryan's boots crunched over shattered glass and twisted wires. He paused at a doorway. A human skeleton lay there, half covered in mold, a datapad clutched in its hand. Ryan knelt and gently picked it up. The screen blinked to life, just barely. Faded text appeared. "Mission log 073. Our deal with the Corel failed. Their princes turned on us. We triggered the failsafe. I think we destroyed everything." Ryan's face went pale. This can't be right." Liara read it over his shoulder. Her voice was cold. "That princess was my ancestor." He turned to her, stunned. "We have no records of that story," she said. "But if it's true, maybe the destruction wasn't caused by a man. Maybe it was both sides." Ryan's thoughts raced. What if the dream wasn't a prophecy, but a memory? Suddenly, one of the guards called out, "We are not alone." Ryan stood up quickly. Shadows moved between the crystal trees. Quiet at first. Then a low clicking sound echoed. Lyra's hand went to her blade. "Glass howlers." "Sounds friendly," Ryan muttered, backing toward the ship entrance. From the trees, long insect-like creatures emerged. Their bodies shimmered like glass, reflecting the forest around them. Their limbs were sharp. Their eyes were black holes. "They protect this place," Liara said. "We're intruders." The first howler lunged. Liara moved fast, slicing its front leg clean off. Another leapt for Ryan. He rolled aside, grabbing a broken metal pipe from the wreckage. A guard fell behind them, pierced through by a howler's claw. "Run!" Liara shouted. They bolted from the ship ruins, crashing through the glowing underbrush. The remaining guards stayed behind to buy them time. As they ran, Ryan shouted, "Why do they protect that ship?" "They remember," she said breathlessly. "These creatures were changed by the pulse. They sensed danger or history." More clicks behind them. The howlers weren't giving up. They reached the edge of a cliff. Below, a glowing river flowed. Smooth and fast, Ryan looked down. "Is that water safe?" "Not at all," Liara said. Ryan turned. The howlers closed in. "We jump or die," he said. Liara looked at him. "You first?" Ryan grinned. "Ladies first." She shoved him. He fell screaming into the glowing current. A second later, she leapt after him. The water wasn't just water. Ryan hit the glowing river hard, the cold wrapping around him like icy hands. He opened his mouth to scream, but no sound came. Instead he heard voices, dozens, hundreds, whispers, "You don't belong here. You bring fire. Run." He spun under the surface, struggling to swim. The current wasn't pulling him forward, it was pulling him somewhere else. Shapes moved below him, not fish, not creatures, memories. Fading images of the past, explosions, shouts, a tall figure in silver armor. Falling. Then darkness. Ryan gasped as he broke the surface, coughing and blinking. He had washed up on a soft, glowing riverbank. The world around him was silent, too silent. Even the plants here didn't move. The sky above had turned darker, the twin suns hidden behind clouds. He sat up slowly. "Liara?" No answer. He stood, wobbled, then called louder, "Liara!" His voice echoed once, then again, but not naturally. The echo spoke back. "Liara... She is not yours to call." Ryan froze. He turned quickly, scanning the trees. They were dark, twisted versions of the crystal forest above. This was a different zone? A forbidden one, a shadow shifted between. The trees. Ryan grabbed a long branch as a makeshift weapon. "Show yourself." A tall figure stepped out, hooded, pale blue skin, not like Lyra's, eyes glowing white. "I am Vern," the man said, his voice deep and still. Watcher of the echoes, guardian of the past. Ryan held his ground. "Where's Liara? Did she make it?" Vern tilted his head. "She walks a different path now, one of blood." "What do you mean?" The figure stepped closer. "You touched the memory stone. You awakened old wounds. The river showed you what we buried." "I didn't mean to see any of that." "But you did," Vern said. "And now the past follows you." Ryan lowered the branch. "I just want to get back to the city. I have no part in this war." "I didn't cause it." Vern paused. "Not yet," Ryan frowned. "You sound like the dream again." "The prophecy." Vern nodded. "Because it's not a dream, it's a cycle. The first human came here long ago. He brought knowledge and destruction." Ryan's voice dropped. "He made a deal with Lyra's ancestor and it went wrong." "Yes," Vern said. "He promised unity. Instead he brought war." "Why show me all this now?" "Because history may repeat," Vern said, "or it may not." "That choice is yours." Ryan stared at him. "Where's Liara?" Vern slowly raised his hand. The space beside them shimmered like glass, and a vision appeared. Liara, alone, standing on a cliff deep in the forest. She was surrounded by robed figures. "They are the Starbinders," Vern said. "The old council. They want her to give you up." "To kill you." Ryan's blood ran cold. "She'd never—" "She is royal," Vern interrupted. "Loyal. To her blood, her people." Ryan stepped back. "She saved me. Protected me. That wasn't loyalty to a throne. That was something else." Vern looked away. Feelings do not change fate. Suddenly, the vision shattered. Ryan felt a cold hand grip his chest. The shadows around the trees moved. "The Howlers have followed you," Vern said calmly. "Your time here ends." Ryan turned. The clicking had returned. Vern raised his hand again. "I will send you where she is. But know this, trust is a fragile thread." He touched Ryan's forehead. Elsewhere. Moments later. Liara stood silent among the Starbinders. Her cloak was soaked from the river, her sword strapped at her side. One of the robed elders stepped forward. "He is dangerous," the elder said. "He touched the stone. He awakened the ruin." "I know what he did," Liara replied. "Then prove your loyalty. Deliver his name to the king, or end him yourself." She didn't respond. Inside, her thoughts swirled. Ryan had risked his life. For truth, he hadn't lied. He hadn't attacked. He had asked questions no one else dared to, and yet, every voice around her demanded his death. Suddenly, a wind blew through the clearing, a ripple of light appeared behind her, and Ryan stumbled out of it, coughing, soaking wet. The elders shouted, weapons were drawn. Liara stepped forward. "No!" Ryan looked up, breathless. "Nice to see you too." One elder screamed. "He was not summoned." Another hissed, "This is Forbidden's magic." Ryan raised both hands. Look, I'm not here to fight. Liara stepped in front of him, blade drawn. If anyone touches him, they answer to me. Silence. Then one elder spoke quietly. Then your heart has chosen. Liara said nothing, but she didn't lower her blade. The blade in Lyra's hand trembled. The circle of elders glared at her, their silver robes swaying in the wind. Their faces were shadowed by old knowledge, untouched by emotion. But Ryan, standing beside her, breathing hard, wet and bruised, was very human. Too human. The High Elder stepped forward. You defy the council? For him? Lyra's voice was steady. Yes. Then you are no longer royal, the elder said coldly. His words echoed like thunder. Lyra didn't flinch. So be it. With that, she turned and grabbed Ryan's hand. Run. They sprinted into the forest, blades of glowing grass parting before them. Behind them, the council's alarm sounded, a deep chime that shook the trees and warned the skies. They'll hunt you now, Ryan said as they run. Not just me, I don't care, Liara replied, eyes sharp. I made my choice. The forest thinned. They reached the edge of a cliff where an old sky bridge hung like a broken spine across the mountains. Ryan looked down. It's barely standing, Liara smirked. Good, they won't follow. They crossed carefully. The wind howled beneath, and the bridge creaked under their weight. Halfway through, Liara paused and looked back. Black shapes flew from the trees, patrol wings. Armored soldiers with sharp wings and no mercy. Faster! She yelled. They jumped off the last plank just as the bridge snapped and fell into the clouds below. Safe, for now they found a hidden cave beneath a waterfall, where old supplies and tech remnants were scattered, a forgotten rebel hideout long abandoned. Ryan collapsed onto a metal crate, breathing hard. You gave up everything, he said softly. Your title, your home, Liara pulled her damp hair back. I gave up nothing I still believed in. Ryan looked at her. You believe in me? She hesitated, then nodded. Yes, a silence settled between them, heavy but warm. Then Ryan asked, why did the council fear me so much? Liara sat beside him. It's not just the prophecy. It's what the memory stone hides. My ancestors erased parts of history, records of the first human who came. The council believes you are connected to him, his blood, maybe his legacy. Ryan frowned, but I don't know him. I didn't even know this world existed. Exactly, Liara said. Which makes it harder to predict what you'll do, Ryan leaned back. I never asked for this, she smiled softly. No hero ever does. Later that night a small fire crackled in the center of the cave. Outside, the sky danced with soft colors, pinks, greens, and purples swirling like ocean waves. Liara sat near the entrance, sharpening her blade. Ryan stared at the flames. Tell me something true, he said suddenly. She looked at him. What? Kind of truth? Something real about you? Not a prince's thing, she thought for a moment. I hate wearing crowns. They're heavy, and they don't make you strong. They just make you a target, Ryan smiled. Good one. She glanced at him. Now your turn. He paused. When I joined the Space Corps, I wasn't trying to save the world. I was running from it. I thought floating through stars would make everything feel smaller. But it didn't. It made me realize how alone we really are. Liara looked at him, not with pity, but understanding. I'm glad you fell into my sky, she said quietly. Before he could reply, a beeping sound came from a corner of the cave. Ryan stood up and walked over to the noise. A small transmitter, old but still functional, blinked red. A signal, he said. Short range, maybe 30 miles. Liara joined him. It could be a trap. Or it could be someone who doesn't want us dead, he replied. She considered it. There's an old tech vault nearby. A few rebels still hide in the deep zones. Ghosts of the old war. Ryan looked at her. Worth the risk? Liara nodded. We need allies now. The journey begins again at sunrise. They left the cave. The landscape had changed. Less crystal, more stone and ash. The colors were dull. Here. Old machines lay broken along the path. Rusted tanks, shattered drones, pieces of forgotten war. This place saw fire, Ryan whispered. Liara nodded. It was once a royal city, burned by our own hand during the rebellion. Your People did this? We all did, she said. Every side thought they were right. They walked in silence, the air heavy with the weight of memory. Suddenly, a voice crackled through the static of the transmitter. ... Is anyone out there? Repeat, not council. Not loyalists, survivors only. Ryan froze. That's human. Liara took the device. Can you track it? He pulled a scanner from his belt. Northeast, not far. They moved quickly, sliding down stone hills, across cracked bridges, toward a broken tower shaped like a needle. The signal got stronger. Inside the tower, they found it. A working console, a human-made transmitter, and ... a girl. Young, dirty, but definitely human. She aimed a plasma pistol at them. Name yourselves. Ryan raised both hands. Commander Ryan Blake, Earth. The girl stared in disbelief. Then she whispered, You're real. Liara stepped forward. Who are you? The girl lowered her weapon. I'm Myra, second-gen colonist. And I know why you're here. Myra stared at Ryan as if he were a ghost from her dreams. You came, she whispered. Just like the old data log said. Ryan blinked. I don't understand. What logs? Myra turned and activated the dusty terminal. The screen flickered. An old Earth military symbol appeared, followed by shaky video footage. A man in uniform. Bruised, bloodied, he looked exactly like Ryan. Liara leaned closer. Is that? Ryan's jaw tightened. No, it's not me, it's someone else. The man in the video spoke. If you're hearing this, I've failed. We tried to protect this world. We tried to stop the corruption in both human and Corel governments, but we were betrayed. I left this message hoping one of us might make it back. The screen cut to static. Myra turned to Ryan. You're not the first, but maybe you're the last chance. Ryan stepped back, heart pounding. This doesn't make sense. I was never sent here. My crash was an accident. Liara was silent, but her eyes burned with thought. Myra opened a compartment in the wall and pulled out a silver disc. This is what they were fighting over, she said. The Unity Core, a bridge between worlds. It can open gates to Earth, to Corel, to anywhere. Ryan stared at it. A portal? Myra nodded. The first man tried to seal it, but failed. The Council wanted it destroyed. The rebels wanted to use it. But no one truly understood it. Ryan glanced at Liara. And now it's in our hands. She didn't smile. That makes it even more dangerous. Hours later, deep within the tower, the core sat inside a chamber pulsing with soft blue light. Symbols spun around it in the air. Machines long dead now hummed quietly, sensing its presence. Ryan placed his hand on it. A soft warmth spread through his skin. A screen blinked to life. Gate destinations. Earth Command, offline. Corel Royal City, compromised. Unknown node. The Ark, active. The Ark? Ryan asked. Myra stepped forward. A lost station. The one built for peace. It was supposed to house both Corel and human knowledge. But it disappeared during the last war. Liara touched the screen. If it's active, someone must be there. Myra looked at Ryan. You could go home, Earth. If you wait long enough, a signal window might open. Or I go to the Ark, he finished. Lyra's voice was low. And step deeper into our war. Ryan looked from the screen to the core. To Liara. I didn't ask for this, he said softly. I know, she replied, but maybe the stars did. Moments before the decision outside the tower, patrol ships were already circling. The Council had tracked the core's energy. Time was running out. Myra prepared the activation panel. Once the core opens the gate, you only have a minute. Liara stood beside Ryan, her eyes locked on his. If you go, she said, you might never return. Ryan smiled faintly. I'm used to getting lost in space. She didn't laugh. He stepped closer. You pulled me from death. You stood by me. You risked everything. I'd do it again, she said. Then come with me. Liara hesitated. I am no longer royal. I'm not sure what I am now. You're Liara, Ryan said. That's enough. A long silence passed between them. Then she nodded. Myra activated the gate. A swirling light opened before them. A doorway between stars. We don't know what's on the other side, Myra said. But someone has to try. Ryan looked at the swirling light. Then at Layara. Together, they stepped forward. Epilogue. Somewhere between worlds the Ark floated in silence. Its halls were filled with old voices, data logs, records, memories, no people, but knowledge. Shelves lined with Corel scrolls. Human AI terminals still running diagnostics. And one large chamber at its center, untouched. Glowing softly with power, Ryan and Layara stood in that chamber now. It's still alive, Layara whispered. Ryan placed the core into a slot on the console. Lights blinked. Power surged. A hologram appeared. The man from the old video. If you made it here, then maybe peace still has a chance. The message ended. Layara stepped beside him. This place could become what it was meant to be. Ryan looked at her, but only if we protect it, she nodded. Together. He looked out the window, stars beyond stars, stretching into the unknown. For the first time, he felt like he was exactly where he was meant to be, not lost, downed.